Hello, this is Renee Hahn with William Ravis Real Estate, and I am bringing you the Naples area real estate market update. So this is for June of 2021. Again, as a quick reminder, we're always we're always a month behind because we want to make sure that we have the most accurate data, and you want to give a couple of weeks to reconcile any delayed closings or closings that were delayed being entered in the system. So let's take a look at a couple things. I have the graphic that Naples Area Board of Realtors produces every year, and we'll dive into this. I use it more as a backdrop, but I wanted to highlight a couple of things. So traditionally, Naples has had the slower months during the summer season, which is the opposite of most places in the US, but our summer tends to slow down in real estate. What's been interesting the last couple of years is that beginning of the slowdown keeps pushing out. So the year before last, it was starting to get a little bit later into the summer. Last year, again, a little bit later, and this year was the same. So the season, as we call it, the high selling season, went on a little bit longer than historically, if you look back over a 10-year period prior to the last couple of years. That's a really good indication that we're starting to see a balancing of the buyer pool, meaning we've traditionally been very, very high in seasonal home buyers. Now what you're starting to see is there are more and more full-time people, and that doesn't always mean just families. There are people who are retired who have decided to make Florida and Naples in particular their full-time home. So you're starting to see some shifting of that, which is what has caused a little bit of the summertime slowdown delay coming. The other thing is we had a lot of demand that was pent up from the COVID period of time. And so buyers stuck around a little bit longer to purchase. So there's a couple of notes I took that I want to share with you relative to the market. One thing is that got published recently in an article that I want to share with you. Every month, the Naples Area Board of Realtors dives into the data. They look at it, they analyze it, they have brokers comment on it. And one of the things they wrote about in their most recent release is saying analysts who reviewed the June 2021 market report released by NABOR, which tracks home listings and sales within Collier County and excluding Marco Island, gave indications that the wild housing market frenzy that began about a year ago seems to have peaked in March and is now decelerating. I'm stumbling. It's a Friday night and it's been a long day. Is now decelerating and being replaced with a new level of activity that reflects improved market equity for sellers and sustained buyer interest from people seeking permanent residency. That's a lot in there, but I want to summarize it. I think it's a profound statement, and it kind of goes into play of what I was suggesting earlier. So inventory is still down 79%, but the buyer demand has slowed with the summer months. There's a lot of different views on how strong it will bounce back in the fall. But I have been saying for quite some time, if you've listened to my past market reviews, that we have been going at a steady rate in terms of price and demand and how quickly things are selling and how much competition is for them. And that at some point we would plateau off either because demand goes down or inventory goes up or both happen to settle in a little bit, because obviously the price increases that we've been enjoying on the selling side, can't continue indefinitely. And I want to share a statistic that kind of talks to you. So if you look at the stats, closed sales, so these were deals that would have went under contract at some point in advance of June, but were closing in June. Closed sales were up 67.8%. So again, that's indicative of all of the sales activity that happened in the first half of the year. But in June, when you look at June 2021 versus June 2020, it's actually pending sales are down. So let me look at the statistic. They're down 14.5%. So closed sales are up nearly 70%. Pending sales dropped by almost 15%. And so you can see a little bit of a slowing in the system. The pent up competition and demand certainly gave way to price advantage in terms of sellers. So closed deals in June, prices were up on average, median rather, 30%. So again, that's across all price points. So these are overarching statistics. I'm just looking. New listings were also down in the month of June for 2021 versus 2020. They were down by about 12%. So less things are going under contract. There's fewer listings available this past month. Let's see what else. That was new listings. Total active listings. I thought this was really interesting. So in June of 2020, there were 6,003 active listings sitting on the market. In June of 2021, there were only 1,271. So new listings have slowed down in the month of June, but active listings in June on the market was down 79%. So again, I thought that was interesting. No surprise here, but average days on market is down from 95 in June of 2020 to 29 in June of 2021. That is a decrease of nearly 70% as well. If you look, when you break this out by single family versus condominiums, not a ton of difference, but one of the things I see, June closed sales for single family homes was up 45%, but condominium sales in June was up 98.7%. So again, condos, not exclusively, but a majority of condos tend to be more of seasonal purchases. So to me, when I see this, it reinforces what I said earlier, which is the end of the season got pushed out a little bit further into the summer. So not a complete surprise there, but that's a pretty staggering increase. The price for condos, the median price went up 26%. For single family homes, it went up 44%. So you've seen more price growth in single family homes. Again, I'm not entirely surprised by that because if you think about it, the single family homes include the land that it's on, and land tends to be an appreciating asset where the structure, it can appreciate as well if people are maintaining it and investing in it. Whereas condos, your financial investment is much more into the structure. What else is interesting? Inventory. Again, what was on the market in the month of June went down 73% for single family homes, and it went down 84% for condominiums. So the market, again, continues to be a good market, particularly for sellers right now. Inventory being down close to 80% means buyers still have fewer properties to pick from than the typical year here. So if you're in the market buying, there are homes coming on the market. I look at my hot sheets every day to see what's coming on the market, and there have been some great properties. If you see a great property, you can count on the fact that 9 times out of 10, it's still going to sell pretty quickly because there's so few homes available. We're not seeing quite as many across the board, I should say, quite as many multi-bid situations, but I can point to a number of them that are still going on. So it all depends on what's available. If the home is in a really popular pocket, meaning, the type of home it is, the location, the finishes are popular, you may still see home bidding competition continue to grow. But that's where we are. Again, there's a little bit of an unknown on what the fall is going to look like. I kind of see two sides of this. On the one side, I happen to know because of the low inventory and the high demand that there were a number of buyers that came to purchase a property and did not accomplish that in the last season. So I have to believe there's going to be some carryover in demand. But at some point, I also believe that inventory's got to pick up. There's a lot of people that did not list homes that may have otherwise because of the fear of being able to find something else once they sell theirs. At some point, I would expect that'll stabilize a little bit and perhaps people will be more comfortable putting their homes on the market. There's obviously some uncertainty still in the air about COVID. Still some effect on some of the international economics that affect people's comfort level in investing in homes. A lot out pending in capital gains world that may make people hold on to their discretionary cash versus investing in real estate. But I'll tell you, the interest rates are still really low. I think I saw 2.87 for a 30-year conventional come out this morning. So still very favorable. I always say the best time to buy is when it's the right time for you, and the best time to sell is oftentimes also when it's the right time for you. So the market will continue to be fluid. There's not a lot of certainty and what to expect, simply because there's a lot of things in the air that are unknown at this point that do affect buying behavior and to a certain extent selling behavior. But I hope this is helpful. As always, I just wanted to point out, if you're interested in keeping a pulse on the market, I really encourage you to take advantage of the website, and particular this page on my website for the market updates, because it is interactive and it is ongoing. So I publish these monthly market reports around when NABOR releases the statistics. But you can go on this website anytime. If you look at the right-hand side, I give you all the different things that you can look at graphs on. I have it categorized by single-family homes and condos. So, for example, if you want to see what pending sales for single-family homes are doing, you click on this. It takes you down to the graph, and you can see I break it out by price point, which is fantastic. Different prices behave differently. If you look at the differences down here in 3 million and above versus 500,000 and less, there's some differences, both in terms of the trends as well as the significance of the changes. So it's a 3-year look back. It's great data. Again, you can hover here and see different things. And of course, if you would ever want me to do a more granular look for you, for your community, or in particular your home, you are always welcome to reach out. But this is an unbelievable resource. I pay a lot for this, so I'd love for you to take advantage of it. The other thing you'll find on this website, I do have where you can go into, although the primary purpose of this page is Naples, I do have some breakouts for Marco and Bonita here. And then lastly, I wanted to show you, if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see I include 2 luxury reports. One is one that our brokerage produces for Naples. And then there's one that the Institute for Luxury Home Marketing produces. This one just got updated, so it's got July. The William Ravis one will be coming out soon. It's still, the last version is the June. But again, this July one has come out just today from the Institute. And those are there if you're interested in a closer look at the luxury market. But again, a wealth of information. You don't have to be in the market for selling or buying a home to benefit from the information on keeping up with the Naples area market, real estate market. So again, Renee Hahn, 239-287-2576, or you can always find me at www.yournaplesexpert.com. Have a fabulous weekend.